Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. It is time for episode number 2. I haven't even read your feedback on the first episode, you know. I don't like doing this, but I have time to record before that one goes out and I'm in the mood for playing, so why not? So I'm looking forward to reading your feedback on that episode. Believe me, I am. And yeah, we're ready to do this one. I've kind of got things a little bit prepared for us. Today what we're going to do is focus on the next step, which is to defend ourselves. Now, we have not been attacked by any of these creatures again. I think they're called biters. I'm not sure if they have a race name or anything like that. And it could be because we removed the mining drills over in that area and we're causing less pollution. But either way, we are going to defend ourselves, and I've done a little bit of research in between. So let's just open up that quickly. You can see the things down here that I've researched, I do believe, is automation, so we can create an assembling machine. We're going to need that. We've got turrets for defense, stone walls for defense, and we got military for defense as well. So we are ready to defend ourselves, which I think is the next logical step. Now, I haven't played this game a lot. It might actually be a good idea to maybe get some automatic research going or something first, but I like to do defense, so that's what we're going to focus on. So one thing I want to point out is that we are completely backed up here. I've left all of this space here in the middle for more furnaces, and then our materials are going to go off to the right on the assembly line. This is where we have all of our materials going over this way, and we craft and add things to the assembly line to make things easier for ourselves, because we want to automate things as much as possible. So everything's backed up, and this means that electricity consumption is quite low. You can see there that we're pretty much using nothing. And one thing I noticed, it was starting to kind of get used up a little bit, and you'll be able to see that when we remove some of these items, because then everything is going to start going again. So we're going to pick up all of this iron, we're going to pick up all of that copper as well, and just let it refill back up. But during that process we might see the power consumption go down a fair bit, because now all of this is being used. So let's look at the electricity, and we might be getting a little bit close. I'm sure we're about to find out in a moment, because what we want to add is some assembly machines to make some ammunition, which is just crafted out of iron plates. So we're actually going to have this in this little area right here. It's going to be before the main assembly line. The reason why is because I want this stuff to have priority to the iron that's coming out of our system. It should be the first thing to use it, since it's defending our base. So to do this, what we want to do is just somewhere around here is plop down 4 of these. We're probably not going to use all 4 straight away. We'll probably start off with 2. The thing is, even if you have 4, you know, and you've got a short line on the other side, it just means it produces it quicker. So if we were putting this all into chests, it might be a bad idea. But since we're not doing that, we're just going to do it like so, and it would appear that I do not have enough things crafted. I thought I was well prepared. I think these are actually supposed to be used for something else as well, but I've kind of forgotten a little bit of the plan at the moment. So yep, we definitely need some more of those. Let's just get a few going, and we'll take the first one and pop it down right there. So now we're going to have a line on the other side. One of the other things I crafted, by the way, was turrets. We're going to be crafting these by hand. First of all, we will automate that in a moment. So if we go to the military tab, I'm going to create 7 of these for now. And now we just need to power all of this stuff here. We also need to set the recipe. So with these machines that we have, you just tell it what exactly it is you're crafting, and then the inserters will know what to put in the machine, which is really cool. Okay, so let's put down our power lines. We're going to have 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top. I'm not sure what the most optimal way is, and then we'll connect it up right there. So now we are producing ammunition, and like we've learned so far, with these smart inserters we can simply take that ammunition and put it into the gun turret, because it requires ammunition at the moment. Now in the future we'll unlock laser turrets, which run off of power, and they are a lot better, but for now we're going to have to use this. So the plan would be to bring this all the way around over to the copper. That's the area that we want to secure first. Make sure we have all of that copper available to ourselves. So that means I've got a lot more crafting to do. I need to pick up a lot more of these plates so that we can start making some more conveyor belts. Now these things will be automated in the future, but for now we will do it manually. So there is one more little job that we got to do. We also want to build some walls, and last time I didn't automate this last time I played, and this time I want to do so. So where are the walls? They are right here, and you need stone bricks for that. And the way you get stone bricks is with stone. You want to put these into a furnace. So what I think we will do right here is we'll pick up this chest. Yeah, this is going to work. Then we're going to put the chest back down. My inventory is a little cluttered at the moment. We're going to put it up there, and then we'll open the chest, put in all of the stone that we have. There we go, that's the way you do it. Shift clicking it in, and then we're going to have a little bit of a conveyor belt. So this thing will eventually kind of catch up with itself. So because we got one of these, that's going to work with one furnace. But because we've got a backlog, we're going to just put down, let's say, 1, 2, 3 furnaces for now. Probably made way too much of these conveyor belts. And then we're going to put the inserters into them once again. And this also needs fuel. Ha! I didn't consider that. I did not consider that. It won't be a problem. What we'll do, actually, is I've just removed this top one, is we'll create a splitter over on the side here. This is what's really cool about having these tracks and a splitter like this. We can just bring the fuel over here, so I completely forgot about that, which was a little bit silly. Okay, yeah, we want that to be a little bit lower, because otherwise it will connect with the track. So right there is not going to be good enough. That means we're just going to have to move the chest. Okay, no problem. I'll re-put the chest down. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. Right, so now that's on one side of the track. This does mean then that our inserter is going to have to put this on the far side, and I think it should put it on the far side if we arrange it like that. So we'll soon find out. If not, what we would do is we would get the inserter to put it onto a track which we then point into the other side of this one. And that would be the way you control what side of the track it goes on. So let's put down some power lines. That one connects, that's great. We're going to need one on the other side and then one up here as well. That is now putting down some stone. We'll probably need a fast inserter on there maybe. And I think what we'll do is we'll add another 2 of these so we can get lots of the stuff quickly. On the other side we are going to need one of these things. These down here, by the way, they work with a keyboard, but I'm just never getting used to using keyboard shortcuts. I'm a little bit lazy with that. And I think we need a lot more of these. Okay, so you've kind of seen me set this up before already, so in the future we'll probably avoid these simple setups on camera. We'll keep it nice and interesting, but for now we're just going to quickly finish this, and then you'll see that we have automated another part of our defense, which is good. There we go, and now what we want is a fast inserter. Let's just get 2 of those, or maybe even 3, and let's make some iron chests as well. We don't really need the wooden ones, they've got a small inventory space. And while these things craft, let's just plop down those. And they're in the power area, which works out nice. And what's happened on the side here? I've somehow managed to not put down some tracks where we need them. That's good. Okay, and then 2 iron chests. Oh, that one's in the wrong place. And look at this. Those things are so fast, aren't they? That's great. Loads of stone bricks now. Probably would have been smarter to put this a little bit lower down, because this one right here may occasionally get backed up if there's lots coming through. But it looks like in this case, the 4 of them are not going to be fast enough. So that's working out really great. Okay, so now we can just pick these up and we can craft them into walls. But maybe actually what we want to do is automate that. Wow, I've completely forgotten that we needed to do that. So you've seen how this machine works. Let me set one up and I'll show you when it's done. Gone ahead of myself a little bit here. You can see that one furnace is operating because we've got one of these, and electricity is starting to come to its knees a little bit. It looks like, because we have added so much more stuff, but we're going to add a little bit more to the system before I expand that. So what we want to do is just increase the amount of stone here that's being produced, and then that way a few more of these furnaces will get used, even though it is a little bit of an overkill system. And one thing I decided to do is actually leave a supply of stone behind, just in case we ever need that and this patch runs out. However, if you look at the amount that's actually available here, it is quite a lot. You can see we've got almost 2,000 there. It'll be interesting to see how much is left in the drills over here. So let's have a look. This one has 5.7k left and 10k left. So that might sound like a lot, but it will get used up, and we will need to produce it faster in the future as well. You can see we've got 4 of these running at the moment, so the electricity, it really is being used up. And now we've got this going around the side, going over to this direction towards the copper patch. Now one of the things to consider here is that the lines themselves, they kind of act like a supply, because this is all ammo that isn't being used on the track. So when we have our setup over here on the right, and the gun turrets need more fuel, it's already on the track. When I say fuel, I mean ammo. So then it comes down the line, and then, you know, at the back of the line it all moves up, and then this stuff starts producing again. So it's a really nice system. The tracks act as a buffer, and because the materials are available in such a large quantity, it's never really too much of an issue, which is cool. I kind of really like the way that plays out, because if this was, let's say, the materials were a lot rarer and you had to conserve things, I kind of feel like that would be an annoyance with the game. So anyway, right, we need to defend this area, don't we? And we are actually quite close to the bad guys. They're just over there, and we don't have many turrets. So what we're going to do for our setup is put our turrets around here. First of all, we're going to go 1, We're actually just going to space them out like that, the default way. And we're definitely going to need to have more of these. We're going to craft more of them automatically as well in a moment. So now each of these need one of these guys pointing into them. And hopefully we don't get attacked while we're setting this up. I don't see anything happening on the right side of the screen, but that's where we'll probably learn about it. And hopefully we've got enough of these as well, because I have possibly not crafted enough. Okay, so what we want to do here is have a little bit of a splitter. And yes, I was kind of prepared. I did make a few of these. So we've got a splitter that's going to just obviously split it up so it can go down one side and up the other as well. And one of the cool things about this is if you have more gun turrets on one side, then it just means the ammunition being split onto one side will get used up quicker. So when new stuff comes in, it kind of distributes it correctly anyway, which is cool. Or does it? I'm not sure. Anyway, right, let's put down another one over here. And then right there will do. And then we'll put it in between every other one. So now you can see that the gun turrets are being loaded and that these things are good for defense. And I forgot to pick up some walls. And we've now researched optics. Woohoo! We can now put lamps down, which is going to make recording at night a lot easier. So what we want to do now is, while we're handcrafting these potions, is just get rid of the next ones. The smart inserters are going to be very useful in the future. And it looks like we don't have too much more. We've got a few things here that just need these potions. However, they need 50 of them. So I think automating that will be a good idea. This is what we want to do next. That is available. Let's make sure we get that, because we want to be defended in case we get attacked. So what do we need for that? We are running low on iron. So as we head back here, I'm going to pick up some iron. We're going to get that going. And I need to pick up the walls. That was the one thing that I forgot to bring over with me. So I hold down F, just grab loads of this stuff. Look at it, all backed up. That's great. And now we can make 10 of those. Good stuff. Actually, I think we need one more. Okay, so the next part of what we're doing is just putting down the walls. So over here we can grab this. Oh, I didn't show this. Did I show it? I can't remember. Yeah, we just got two assembling machines pointing into an iron chest. And now we have a whole bunch of walls there, which we're going to use to defend ourselves with. And we haven't been attacked, which is cool. Yes, things are going well, but I feel like the next step is to start automating a lot of this stuff, like potions, and these conveyor belts will get automated, so we'll work on that next. We just want to make sure this area is at least slightly defended. Okay, so right in front of these turrets we want to have 2 thick walls. I don't know if that's optimal, that's just something that Zistu was doing, and I kind of did the same thing when I was playing in my own world. So, and we also want to kind of secure the copper area, so we will be expanding the amount of turrets, but we're going to automate their production. So I think what we want to do is have the walls somewhere down here at this height, and we've kind of run out, so I'll put a little bit of a marker like that. So that's where the wall's going to go across, and we will defend all of those sides. As for this bit right here, I think the smart thing to do would be to take it up continuously, because if you look on our mini-map, we can go all the way up to the water. Don't know if that bit there connects, but then we have to defend these other areas eventually as well. But this is a good start. I'm hoping that the creatures don't sort of see this and go all the way around and avoid it. But it should do us for now, and it means we can expand our mining over here. And can we craft any of those lamps? Let's craft all 14 of those. Nope, let's not. Let's just do one, because I wanted to just show you what it looks like. Well, it'll be pretty obvious, but if we just put a lamp down here on the corner, then we can see what we're doing, which is great. So anyway, the next step is more automation. I am going to start work on the line up the top here. We're going to automate the creation of turrets. We are going to automate conveyor belts, I do believe, and potions as well. So I'm going to build that setup and be back with you very shortly. Our objectives were a little bit different. Thought I'd show you a couple of things I've done here, by the way. Just doubled the amount of energy that we're producing, so the system's doing well. Reduced the size of this, it was overkill, so now we've just got one machine here, and this little setup is doing a nice job. We're getting lots of wool from that, which is cool. And then over here, you can see we're actually running out of iron, so at the moment what I'm trying to do is grab this stuff before the ammo takes it. Now, as soon as this stuff starts to back up around here, this stuff will start using it less and less, which means it'll back up on this line. As it does that, it'll back up over here as well. But basically, we're not quite producing as much as we would like. So I'm going to add a couple of extra mining drills around here, and that could increase the chance of us being attacked as we are, producing more pollution. But there you go. Anyway, I will do the automation. Just thought I'd show you these things. Welcome to the assembly line. This is the best thing about Factorio. This is where the game gets real interesting. Let's zoom out here. You can see on the right we have our first setup for the assembly line. This probably looks really crazy if you've never seen the game before. If you played it before, you're probably thinking, that's an alright setup, I can see what you're doing there. This is pretty standard design. This is actually a very similar design to what we did the first time we played Factorio. After playing around and automating stuff, I realised the best thing to probably do would be just to send everything in a line, and then when you need to add and take things from that line, you can pull them off the side like this and then bring them back in again. So I'm going to explain exactly what's going on here. We're going to set up a second line of materials that are going to be used to craft stuff, and we're also going to craft our first set of potions. So what we have to do at the moment is set these machines up. These ones are actually already done. They're going to be making copper cables. These ones up here are going to be making iron gears. So if we just look at the crafting recipes, this one uses iron gears. Some of the other stuff will use the other things. I think actually this one right here, yeah, that uses the copper cable. So anyway, the way we get this thing running is with smart inserters. This is the way I do my system. Not everyone uses quite the same setup. But with a couple of smart inserters here, we'll be able to tell it what to take off of that line and put onto the other one. So these things up here just need iron plates, so we set this one to that. And it's right there. You can see all of the crazy materials that we're going to be using in this game, and then down on this side it's copper plates. Very cool stuff. So they're now going onto that track on either side. These things are crafting them and then putting the other material onto this track. Now where they join here is important, because what they're doing is they're putting them on either side of this track. So like we've got iron and copper here, we now have the iron gears and the copper cables right there, which is awesome. And then you might be able to tell that for these next things we're going to take things off of both lines. So at the bottom, I didn't set this up. Okay, at the bottom we're going to be making electronic circuits. That's iron plates and copper cables. Let's just go through these quickly. And then at the top we're going to be making the potions for the science and the research, and that uses the opposite. It uses a copper plate and an iron gear, and by opposite I mean the other two things that you can choose from at the moment. So you may notice that their setups are pretty similar over here. You can actually pull from this bit of track right here, even though it's like an undergroundy thing. So what we're going to do is pull from that bit right there. That allows us to put our copper or our iron on this bit, which puts it on one side of the track. Remember, that's really important. And then from this bit of track right here we can pull and put them on the other side of the tracks. So if that didn't make sense when I put these into place, that should make a lot more. So that's going to go like that, and then that one like that, and now we just need to figure out what we actually need on either side. And we have just got a mess of these poles going everywhere. It looks crazy, I know. I might tidy that up a little bit, but this is my kind of style, you know. I just do things a bit chaotically. So down the bottom here we want to make the electronic circuits. That means copper plates, sorry, no, iron plates and copper cables. So iron plate for that one. This one over here is going to do the copper cable. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Now they're on here. These things should start assembling them and putting them on this side over here. There we go. And now we've got electronic circuits on the line. It's brilliant. I love this system. And then on this side over here, what did we need? I think we took iron plates before, so it would be copper plates and iron gears, if I remember correctly. There they are. And have these things been set up? They have. That's good. I think we even did that a moment ago. I've already forgotten. And so now we are automating our research, which is really important because we want to, get our research going nice and fast. And there you go, we've got a potion on the line. So what we need to do next is actually bring this stuff back. But you may notice there is a coal patch here. And this gave me an idea, We want to use this space. We're going to expand the amount of assembling machines on the line. And that's an important thing about this, by the way. When you need more, when you've got more demand for things you can't craft fast enough, you can expand it down into the space, which is why we need such a big open space like we have to the right of us right there. Doesn't that look really cool? I love this stuff. It starts to look like computer circuits and motherboards and stuff as you go on. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to mine up this coal using some electric mining drills. And we're actually going to put it into a chest system and maybe create some sort of buffer, and then we'll store all of that coal somewhere over here, which I think would be a cool idea since we need the space. So that is a little project before the end of this. I'm also going to bring these potions over to the science station that we have over here, the science lab. We're probably going to make a few more of these and automate our research a little bit. And one of the things we do need to research next is this thing, lab efficiency. What I'm actually going to do is start crafting those by hand, because we need to do a bit more automation to craft those automatically as well, which we might do in the next episode, might do in this one, I'm not sure at the moment, but you can see how this works. It's really cool, I do like it. So anyway, we're going to get some research done and we're going to get this coal mined. So the next bit of research we're going to do is automation 2. That'll allow us to do the assembling machine 2, which has more ingredients, which will allow us to make those second tier potions. And now our research is going to go really fast because of all these things down here. And I don't know if this was the best place to put the labs, but it will do for now. And if we go back over here, I haven't set up anything with a coal just because it didn't look like it would be a lot. You can see it says 526 right there. If we grab this thing and just put it on the corner, it tells you it's 2.2. Actually, if we look at this, when it's not even on the coal, it's 1.1, which is interesting. So yeah, it's probably going to take a lot longer to do that than I would have thought. And that's actually going to wrap things up for this episode. In the next one, we'll start work on automating the second tier science packs. But that's going to be it for this episode of Factorio. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. You know it's always going to be appreciated. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.